Hello, you're watching QPVN News. I'm Anh Tuấn and we keep you up to date with the headlines. Vietnam's proactive strategy for semiconductor and AI advancements in the new era. Strength of military offensive combines with people's uprisings. Artisan who preserves the soul of Gaolan culture. Within the framework of the International Conference on Artificial Intelligence and Semiconductors, or AISC for short 2025, the Policy Forum taking the lead, Vietnam's proactive strategy for semiconductor and AI advancement in the new era, was organized by the National Innovation Center under the Ministry of Finance in coordination with ITEMATIC on March the 14th in Hanoi. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính addressed the event. In the context of the digital revolution reshaping all aspects of the global economy, Vietnam aims to proactively develop the semiconductor and AI industry to grasp the world's technological trends, create conditions for Vietnamese enterprises to access and gradually master new technologies, contributing to improving competitiveness while affirming Vietnam's position as a potential destination for science, technology, and innovation in the world. For the first time, more than 1,000 leaders and experts from such large corporations as Google, Nvidia, Meta, Intel, Samsung, and Marvel, and technology corporations from Silicon Valley gathered in Vietnam to discuss development orientations, opportunities and challenges of the global semiconductor and AI industries, proposed development orientations for these technology fields for Vietnam, and at the same time affirm Vietnam's efforts to gradually participate in the innovation ecosystem and global value chain of the semiconductor and artificial intelligence industries, two fields considered the heart of modern technology and the foundation for the digital economy.
We are confident that with a continued collaboration and investment, Vietnam will achieve the goal of being leading R&D center and center of excellence and AI, in both AI and semiconductors. And we are committed to be long-term partner of Vietnam. We believe that Vietnam can become hub of the innovation in the ASEAN, and we work together to build this future to have Vietnam to be at the forefront of technology innovation.
Speaking at the event, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính lauded the gathering of the international community, intellectuals at home and abroad, joining hands to contribute ideas for Vietnam to grow stronger in the development of artificial intelligence and the semiconductor industry. The Prime Minister also emphasized that the fields of innovation, science and technology are the key for Vietnam to achieve its growth target in the era of national development. In 2025, we must achieve at least 8% growth, creating momentum for double-digit growth in the following years, especially boost growth in science and technology, innovation, and strongly develop such emerging industries as AI, cloud computing, IoT, manufacturing, and research of chip-related industries. Also at the program, the National Innovation Center and partners announced initiatives to help Vietnam master semiconductor technology and artificial intelligence and introduced the Vietnam Innovation Challenge 2025 program with the theme Building an open-source Vietnamese database to serve research, development and application of AI. Through the program, Vietnam aims for a new position in the international arena, opening up strategic cooperation opportunities, creating a solid foundation for the digital transformation process, grasping and mastering technology, and realizing the goal of rapid and sustainable development in the new period, This is not only an opportunity for Vietnamese experts and businesses to learn from experience and explore new cooperation potentials, but also plays an important foundational role in establishing strategic cooperative relationship between Vietnam and the international community. Continuing its 43rd session on March the 14th, under the chair of Vice Chairman of the National Assembly Trần Quang Phương, the National Assembly Standing Committee discussed the draft law on state of emergency and the draft law on participation in UN peacekeeping operations. General Nguyễn Tân Cương, Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army and Deputy Minister of National Defense, attended the session. The draft law on state of emergency was drafted by the Ministry of National Defense, including 6 chapters and 42 articles, based on the summary of experience from the process of fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. In the consideration of the world and regional situation, the draft law encompasses appropriate provisions, particularly in necessary cases when the Prime Minister has the liability to apply measures that are not prescribed by current laws and report to the competent agencies of the party and the National Assembly in the nearest time. Regarding the scope of regulation of the draft law on participation in UN peacekeeping operations, it stipulates that state officials, civil servants and public employees are eligible to participate in the UN peacekeeping operations, which is in accordance with practical requirements based on the summary and assessment of the implementation of Resolution 130 of the 14th National Assembly, as well as the regulations of the UN. At the meeting, the deputies highly appreciated the preparation of the relevant documents by the drafting committee, which are qualified enough to be submitted to the 15th National Assembly for consideration in the upcoming ninth session. On March the 14th, at the Ministry of National Defense headquarters, Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến, Deputy Defense Minister, received Chinese Ambassador to Vietnam, He Wei. Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến emphasized that under the strategic guidance of the two countries' senior leaders, the cooperative relationship between Vietnam and China has increasingly deepened, become more substantial and effective, in which bilateral defense cooperation has affirmed itself as one of the important pillars in the cooperative relationship between the two countries. In the coming time, both sides need to continue to promote and effectively implement cooperation contents and fields and continue to direct the functional agencies of both sides to do a good job of preparing for the 9th Vietnam-China Border Defense Friendship Exchange scheduled for April 2025. The Ho Chi Minh Campaign in the spring of 1975 was at the pinnacle of the leadership and exercise of Vietnamese military art. One of the unique and special tactics was the combination of offensive and uprising and the combined operation of the three armed forces. The Vietnamese troops combined large-scale joint combat of the main force with the fierce uprising of the grassroots revolutionary masses to create a comprehensive strength leading up to the final victory. To run the Ho Chi Minh Campaign, Vietnam mobilized about 250,000 troops, organized into 5 Army Corps and others at equivalent level, equipped with a large amount of weapons, material and vehicles, closely coordinating with the attack directions of the main Army Corps. Military Region 7, the Saigon Zadig Communist Party Regional Committee, sent more than 1,700 cadre under the management of Nguyễn Văn Linh to communes, wards, districts, inner city and suburbs, factories, offices, schools and social organizations to organize the mass mobilization for the uprising. The coordination between military attack and the uprising of the mass in Saigon Zadig reached a climax with 107 mass uprising points on April the 29th and the 30th. In the inner city, when the main forces moved into the uprising and political struggle, forces disintegrated thousands of Saigon army troops while a number of enemy government bases voluntarily handed over the authority to the revolutionary forces. By the morning of April the 30th, most of the enemy's government system at the grassroots level has been put under control, which was a favorable factor for the Army Corps to capture and control the assigned targets. It was such military arts of Vietnam. We mobilized the strength of both armed forces and people, and each of our victories was the culmination of attacks and uprisings and attacks. It is the uprising power of the people that shattered the will to resist of the Saigon puppet army. The strong military attacks of the main Army Corps created the motivation and opportunity for the local armed forces to operate effectively and actively support the uprising activities of the mass. The uprising of the mass from the grassroots created the position and strength for the military attacks of the main Army Corps. This coordination of operations was the pinnacle of Vietnamese military art in the historic Ho Chi Minh campaign. Coming up next, the 9th Buôn Ma Thuột Coffee Festival wraps up. Artisan who preserves the soul of Cao Lan culture. On the evening of March the 13th, the 9th Coffee Festival under the theme Buôn Ma Thuột Coffee City concluded after 5 days of vibrant activities in Buôn Ma Thuột City, Đắk Lắk Province. During the 5-day event, the festival welcomed about 250,000 visitors, including 1,800 international visitors, featuring a series of exciting and unique activities imbued with traditional cultural identity. The festival has left good impressions on visitors both at home and abroad, bringing interesting experiences to visitors. This year's festival has also attracted coffee import-export businesses and domestic and international experts. The innovative and creative activities revolving around the theme Buôn Ma Thuột, the world's coffee destination, have conveyed the message of inheritance, destinations and integration of Vietnamese coffee. Artisan of Merit O Thị Chính is recognized as the guardian of the cultural heritage of the Cao Lan people in Yên Bình District in Bai Province. For nearly 3 decades, she has devoted herself to collecting, preserving and teaching the traditional dances and songs of the Cao Lan ethnic group. In this extracurricular session, students are introduced to the rich culture of the Cao Lan people. Under O Thị Chính guidance, they learn to select leaves from the garden to create traditional rice cake wrappers shaped like birds and familiar items used during festivals and celebrations. It feels wonderful to dance because the movements are so close and familiar to us. I have learned the 3 dances so far and will keep learning to preserve our culture and pass down it to others in the future. With her relentless passion for collecting and preserving her people's traditional culture, O Thị Chính has become the custodian of Cao Lan folk songs and dances. She has also built a passionate team of more than 20 people dedicated to preserving and promoting the rich cultural values of the Cao Lan people. Folk dances often mirror daily life activities such as rice harvesting, sowing seeds and catching shrimp. Now we have choreographed dances and movements that highlight the uniqueness of our folk culture. As I continue learning, I will pass on that knowledge to the younger generation. After nearly 30 years of tireless effort in collecting, preserving and teaching, Artisan of Merit O Thị Chính has played an essential role in safeguarding the beautiful traditions of the Cao Lan people. Now, over 60 years old, her boundless passion continues to guide and inspire younger generations, ensuring that the Cao Lan people will not only love but take greater pride in their cultural heritage. this is the end of the QPVN News today. Remember to watch our news again at qpvn.vn. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.